All right, welcome back to another Nasty on Sports video here. And today's topic, I am going to be talking about why the Mets have had a better offseason than the Yankees so far. Now, if anybody just heard that, I'm sure they're probably shitting their pants as to why I'm saying that. Because most people expect, oh, the Mets have had a disastrous offseason. Pete Alonso's gone, Edwin Diaz is gone, Nimmo and McNeil traded away. Well, it's not as simple as that. Let me just explain something. If you're a hardcore baseball fan and you pay attention to the Mets, you know that we are a disastrous franchise year in and year out. You have to make changes. You just have to. And in trading away Nimmo and trading away McNeil, you're getting rid of two lefty bats, which have really underproduced the last couple of years, especially Jeff McNeil. I mean, he kind of fell off a cliff. I mean, out of nowhere. He won the batting title, was it 3 years ago now? And now he's an average at best hitter, hitting what, mid 240s, 250 at best. McNeil, he had that lingering foot issue. Defensively, he is just incapable. He's a disaster. He has a noodle arm out in the outfield. So getting rid of the fat, I guess you could say, of the team is key for the Mets. Now, having Edwin Diaz walk in free agency isn't as big a deal to me as Pete Alonso. Now, I'll get to Pete Alonso in a minute. But having Edwin Diaz walk in free agency is not a big deal. To me, bullpen, I mean, you can always replace bullpen help. I personally feel as though Edwin Diaz will give you a heart attack every time he gets up to the mound. And you don't want that. He's very wild. Now, he's arguably the best closer in baseball, and I know it seems contradictory to say, but a lot of the times he's throwing balls out of the strike zone. He's letting it hit the backstop. You don't want that. And he walked. The Mets offered him, I think, a 3-year, $69 million contract, and he signed for 72, if I'm correct, with the Dodgers. Whatever. He walked over $3 million, and the Mets have replaced him with Devin Williams, who, I get it. He had a up and down year with the Yankees, but he was the best closer in baseball a couple of years ago with the Brewers. He can have a bounce back year. So we signed him for 3 years. I think it was 3 years, $51 million, and then we signed Luke Weaver from the Yankees, who is due to have a bounce back year. He's shown that he's had a lot of balls, and I think he can have a bounce back year. So I think we replenished the bullpen, and we're obviously Brooks Raley, AJ Minter. We have a couple of key arms in the bullpen already, so I think our bullpen is a strength of the team. Now the Pete Alonso walking, I mean, that's fucking ridiculous, because David Stearns, who I can't stand David Stearns. He is a small market GM. He let Pete Alonso walk. He didn't even offer him a contract. And honestly, I put all the blame on Steve Cohen. You're the owner. You're the richest owner in baseball by a long shot, like by a mile. And he couldn't offer arguably, I think, the best first baseman in all of baseball a contract. A guy that is in his sleep averages 35 home runs a year. In his sleep averages 100 RBIs a year. And those are on his worst years. I get it. He had, I think, 86 RBIs a couple years ago. But, I mean, he's over 100 RBIs almost every year. Over 40 home runs most years. The guy's an animal. I mean, I don't know why we let him walk. I think that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And not only that, the excuse of letting him walk, well, oh, he's a defensive liability, which is true. But then you go and sign Jorge Polanco, who I think played a third of an inning at first base his entire MLB career. And David Stearns' explanation is, oh, well, he's going to replace Pete Alonso at first base. Are you fucking kidding me? You should have signed Pete Alonso then. I like Jorge Polanco. He is a very good player. He is a very solid hitter. I think he averaged 276 last year. He'll drive you in about 75 to 80 RBIs a year. He doesn't strike out much. So I do like that signing a lot. And again, like I said, the bullpen is key for us. But the starting pitching obviously is a problem. So, and now it's only January 6th, mind you. So if we go out there and sign a Framber Valdez, maybe a Ranger Suarez. I'd rather have Valdez. I think he's an ace type of pitcher. Pair him with Nolan McLean, who is a monster. He's our ace for a long time, hopefully. And maybe Jonah Tong, can get going. He's very young. Maybe Minaya can have a bounce back year. I don't think the starting pitching is as bad as most Met fans make it seem to be, but I would bank on a bounce back year for Minaya. And I think the pitching, especially, but we have to sign either Valdez or Suarez, and I think that's key. But now what I said in the beginning with having the Mets having a better offseason than the Yankees, here's my explanation. So rumors, reports, whatever you want to say, indicated that Nimmo and Lindor didn't get along due to politics. We already know that Lindor and McNeil had a quote-unquote scuffle back in 21, and nobody got along. The clubhouse had a lot of problems. Now you replace that. You have Juan Soto, who in the second year should be more comfortable. He's one of the best players in baseball. You have Lindor there, who's very consistent. And now you have Polanco, who's very consistent. Now, I think we do need to add, I would love to get, more than anything, Kyle Tucker. I don't think we will, just due to the offseason that we've had so far with being cheap. Let's be real. So I would either like Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger. I mean, I think it's a long shot for both. But if you can get one of those hitters in here, then your lineup is really good. I mean, I think we should call up Carson Bench. I hope that he wins the outfield, the center field job in spring training. I would like to see him in the lineup. I think we should give him a shot. But if you sign either Tucker or Bellinger, and Bellinger makes more sense for the Mets, honestly, because he is very versatile. He could play first base along with left field, outfield, at whatever corner or outfield that there is. I mean, he could play anything, really. I really do think that the Mets had a better offseason than the Yankees, other than letting Pete Alonso walk. Now, let me explain the Yankees part of it. So, the Yankees, they have arguably the best player in the world. Some people think in Aaron Judge. And then what? And then what? Now, this is not even me being a Yankee hater. You have Garrett Cole coming off of Tommy John surgery, and he's older. So who's to say that he's going to have a Garrett Cole type of year? We don't know. Rodon is so inconsistent, so up and down. We don't know. Cam Schlittler should be very good. I mean, I think that he's one of the New York faces now. I think he should be. And I think that I think the Yankees, especially with their bullpen, that's a disaster for the Yankees. They let Weaver walk to the Mets. They let Devin Williams walk to the Mets. I don't think that the Yankees, and I get it, they got Bednar last year, but I think Bednar is very overrated. I think their bullpen is a disaster. I really do. I don't see them having good pitching at all this year. But what I will say, though, is the one thing that I don't understand about Yankee fans or MLB fans in general, saying that the Yankees, are fine and will be fine. If they don't sign Bellinger, let's just assume that they don't sign Bellinger. Then what? Because you had Bellinger last year, and you got your ass kicked in the playoffs by the Dodgers. Or excuse me, I'm thinking of the World Series. You got your ass kicked by the Blue Jays. So what now? The Blue Jays had a monster offseason. They're handing out contracts like Oprah handed out cars back in the day. They got Okamoto, 4 years, $60 million. Even if Bichette doesn't come back, they already replaced him with Okamoto, let's just say. But, I mean, they could still sign Bichette. They signed Dylan Cease, who is a very good pitcher. 7-year deal, I think he got $210 million. They signed that guy from the KBO League, Cody Ponce. Their signings on top of already what they have, with Vlad Guerrero as their centerpiece, and reports are that they're looking at Kyle Tucker. If they sign Kyle Tucker, it is a wrap. Like, the Yankees have no shot to win the AL East, and they have no shot to come out of the AL in general. No shot. So if you're banking on only Cody Bellinger, well, you already got your ass kicked with Cody Bellinger. Now, if you let him go, it's going to be even worse. Because reports, I think Joel Sherman said that the Yankees are out on Kyle Tucker. Well, if you're out on Kyle Tucker, and I saw too that Buster only reported that the Yankees have offered 2 contracts to Cody Bellinger, and he still hasn't accepted any. Now I get it, he's getting a feel for the market, and we'll see what happens. But if Cody Bellinger leaves, the Yankees are done. I don't even think they make the playoffs without Cody Bellinger. And with Cody Bellinger, I think they make the playoffs maybe as a wild card, but I think they get their ass kicked in the playoffs. I get it. I mean, I don't understand how, Mets fans are going crazy. Oh, my God, this offseason is horrible. Well, the Mets haven't won with the core that we had with Nimmo and Alonso and McNeil. And, we haven't won with them. So at this point, blow it up. Blow it up. I think that the Mets got better, addition by subtraction. And I think that they had a better offseason than the Yankees. I know it's a hot take, but I don't see how the Mets got worse, other than Alonso leaving. We replenished the bullpen. We brought in Polanco. If we call up bench and maybe, and now now I'm hoping, we sign a Tucker Bellinger for the lineup and the outfield. And on top of that, adding a Ranger Suarez or a Valdez. I mean, now you had yourself a great offseason. And the Yankees haven't done anything other than sign Paul Blackburn, who is just fucking garbage. He sucks. So I really do think that the Yankees are in bad shape. I think the Mets are on the rise. I just think that, if you go on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, if you look at the media, if you go on SNY, there's so much fake outrage out there. But you haven't won with this core. The Mets haven't won with the core. You had to blow it up at some point. You have to let the kids get a chance. Addition by subtraction, like I said earlier. Go bring an ace in here. Well, no one cleans our ace, but go bring an ace type of pitcher in here like Valdez. Go bring in one more bat. Even in Austin Hayes. Austin Hayes hits for contact. I like that. Put the ball in play. So build around Soto. That's the plan. I think the Mets have had a better offseason than the Yankees, and I think the Yankees are in real, real trouble. And I don't think people understand that. Judge is getting older as well. So, yeah, that's it. Just an announcement, though. So we're going to be, Nasty on Sports is going to be streaming the 49ers-Eagles wild card game Sunday at 4:30. We'll go live about 10 minutes before, have people join. So that's exciting. Like, share, subscribe. Try to have, people come in and talk about the game, and, we'll share our thoughts and whatnot. But, yeah, like I said, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.